time, in a quiet and old apartment building, lived Alex, a young man who lived alone. He began to experience strange and frightening events. One night, he was awakened from his sleep by terrifying screams and eerie sounds echoing through the corridors of the building. When he went out to the corridor, he found no one there. A few days later, people in the apartment building started to fall victim to a mysterious illness. Fear and panic spread throughout the building. Alex, desperate to find answers, decided to go to an old hospital several floors below due to the illness. As he entered the hospital, he was met with a dark and eerie atmosphere. The corridors were empty, and only strange sounds echoed. As he explored room after room, he stumbled upon traces of medical experiments. The walls were stained with blood, and old medical equipment was strewn about. A chilling feeling engulfed Alex as he moved around, and something unexpected happened. In a flash, a dark silhouette appeared in the corner of the room and swiftly vanished. It sent shivers down Alex's spine. After witnessing this, Alex decided to quickly escape the hospital. However, a dark entity was lurking in the corridors, following him. As he ran, nearing the entrance of the apartment building, he knocked desperately. The door opened, and the elderly building caretaker invited him in. Looking at him with a calming gaze, the caretaker explained to Alex the mystery behind the increasingly terrifying events in the apartment building. Years ago, a group of people living in the building had been cursed by an old witch. The curse thrived on the fear and hatred within the living. However, they learned that there was an antidote to the curse and a ritual needed to stop it. Determined to stop the curse, Alex and the caretaker performed the ritual after a challenging struggle. They managed to break the curse and rid the building of its horrifying past. However, this experience left deep scars on Alex's life, and he realized that nothing was as it seemed. Our story concludes here. Alex, though freed from the terrifying past of the apartment building, was forever changed by these harrowing experiences, leaving an unforgettable tale in his life. Ethan, driven by curiosity, decided to investigate the story of an old apartment. This apartment, located in the outskirts of the city, had a dark and eerie atmosphere. Once an asylum, the building was steeped in the memories of the agonies and hopelessness experienced by the mental health patients. Ethan, summoning his courage in the dead of night, entered the old apartment. As he moved through the dark and chilly corridor, he could feel a mysterious energy all around. Suddenly, he heard a spine-chilling whisper coming from one of the rooms. "Get out! They're here!" Terrified, Ethan hastened his steps. He reached the rusty elevator door of the old building and had to make a decision. He chose to call the elevator and go up. However, when the elevator doors opened, there was no one inside. The chilling glares he felt seemed to be swirling around. As he ascended to the upper floors, the atmosphere grew even denser. Ethan witnessed ghostly figures in the corridors and shadows dancing on the walls. When he gently pushed open a room's door, he came face to face with translucent figures in the darkness. Coping with what he saw was a struggle. Finally, as he reached the top floor, he heard the screams of the asylum's tormented spirits. Fearful, he had come here to bring them peace. However, he understood that more was needed to free these spirits from their torment. He had witnessed their agonies and began contemplating what he could do to save them. To break the curse of the spirits and escape the horrifying place, Ethan decided to research what was necessary. In the depths, he discovered a dark entity feeding on the pains of the spirits. He decided to act bravely to break this entity's power and set the spirits free. However, as he progressed in this challenging struggle, he began to feel the pains of the spirits. Experiencing the horrific ordeals they went through, he found himself dangerously changing. However, he did not give up and ultimately succeeded in freeing the spirits, but with this triumph, Ethan was ensnared by the dark forces of the apartment. Overwhelmed by the pains of the spirits and possessed by this terrifying entity, Ethan, just like the other spirits, was condemned to live in endless agony.